Yes, yes, yes. All right. Shalom, shalom, Islam, Islam. First I rise, give all thanks and praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'd like to welcome you all to another Moorish Science University MSU workshop for Arabic writing. I am your professor, the magistrate M. Sufi Il, Magi Chaplain Il, and our Moorish Science University is our religious academy interfaith. We honor all divine prophets, and we have students from the congregations from all those who have been listed on our nationality card, the followers of Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ali, Jonah, etc. And we go from grades one through doctorate degree. Praise Allah, inshallah. High honors to our founders, the Moorish Science University, and some of our online students, our own children, our own family, Bay Band Family Trust, and some of the other children that are involved. But it's really something we're giving to you all as online guests and visitors too. And so we like to give honors where honors is due to all the angels that support us and on the left and right and the front and back, inside and out, ancestors in our DNA. And Mikael, Jibrail, Salatu Salam, and all the Elohim Anunnaki that surround the curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are dealing with our names to start as a fun, you know, way to engage with the language and to engage with how to write it in the Arabic script and that Berber type of script, but also learning how to identify English words that are traced back to Arabic in the ancient languages by getting to the root word, using the root word system and using prefixes, suffixes, and the like to be able to uh, pick apart and add on, build new words, and deconstruct, construct, and identify the real meanings of words that are told to you in religion, outside of religion, within the scriptures, and especially within belief systems. We can get to the bottom of. So the first practice here at the Luga Lodge, which we call our study group MSU, we started our Luga Lodge. It means language house. Luga means language in the Arabic language, and we started in 2007, and we often do this with the games to get all the students kind of involved and get everybody excited. And so let's start it out now. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're going to go with the Basmillah at the top, meaning in the name of God. We write that, all right, Basmillah, and then usually they write ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, or as wise scientists, we know that we can add on any one of the 99 attributes after that Basmillah, Sabor, Al-Majid, the patient, the glorious, stuff like that. But that's high power. We'll talk about that another time. But just the Bismillah right there, the B, the S, the M, that was the A up there, like a aleph, that long number one looking thing. These are two L's in a row looping together. The reason this one is not looped connected right here to this letter is because the aleph doesn't connect. That's how you can identify that it's a aleph and not a lamb or a letter uh, L. This is the A right here, this number one looking thing. These are two L's in a row, the L, and then it's coming down and then coming to another L. And then it goes up into the AH. The AH is represented just by the Tata Marbuta at the end, that hook. Usually a tag is like this, just by the way, just so you know. A tag is usually written like this with two dots. So write it more neatly. That's the letter T. But then they put it at the end of a word, they close it up, and they still keep the dots on the outside, but they close it up just to make it a feminine word or a word that is AH. That's it. So this is the A here. This is the L. This is another L. This is the AH here. So that's Bismi Allah. The Bismi is the B is here, right? The B looks like that by itself. That's the Bay, right? The scene by itself is the squiggly lines, but it has that big loop that goes below the line afterwards at the end. But in the middle of a word, this is like the letters. I'm just like separating it just to show you. The B here, the S is here, and that S or scene, you just see the squiggly parts, and then it goes right to the letter M. So here's your B, here's your S, and here's your M. The I is because you got the I slash here, bis, and then the me, you got a little slash underneath the M, it will make it me, bis me. Bis me in the name of or with the name of. B, when you put B on the front of something, B like BI or BE, B, B, SME with the ISME, because the word for name is ISM, ism. Ain't that something? Because they like ism and schism, but ism means name, like a title, ism. So be ism, bismi, bism, bismi, bismi Allah, with the name of Allah. You see? So that is beginning. We just tuned in. This is the MSU More Science University Luga Lodge writing workshop names 2.5 portion. So we just going through how to identify the letters, and eventually when I get my smart board capability and for everything, inshallah, I'll just stand up there with my finger the whole nine, and I'll learn some screen sharing on here and everything too. So give me some sabr, some patience if you have it. And I'll be able to screen share so we can go over some alphabet. But this is still working. We're cooking. You know what I mean? We're cooking with some real good oil. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. You know what I mean? So check it out. Let's get back to it. Let's go with one of the names. Which is one of the names you think you can a name that we can break down, a Muslim or Arabic name rather. We had names like Muhammad. We had names like Sabir and dealing with Sabr. We have names dealing with what else did we do? We did Jabbar, right? We did Nasir. We did Nasir. And so now let's see if we can deal with another name. Let's go with Rahim. Because it's like Bismillah Rahman Ar-Rahim. So let's do Rahim. Write it in English first. This is a process, y'all. Rahim. Rahim. You see what I'm saying? Rahim. So you're looking every time to see, even when it's in the English letters or, the Anglified, Latinized letters, you're still looking to see if there's a prefix in there, if there's a suffix. Because if there's a prefix, you erase this prefix. Then you scratch out the suffix, and then you erase the vowels, and you're mostly looking for whatever the three letters are that are left, three-letter root word. That's how you identify it. Part of the journey is learning how to use the Arabic to English dictionary, and you can make up a three-letter root like JLS and say, wow, JLS, I don't know what that root word means. But then you look it up in the Arabic English dictionary and find out, wow, it's really a real root word. It's JLS. He sat down. Then you say, oh, snap. So you already got a bundle of tools in your knapsack. You already got some prefixes in there like mu, the one of, the one who, the ma, the place of. Then you might have a prefix like the letter I, which is a command prefix telling somebody to do that thing that comes after it, the verb, right? You might have a letter U, like on uktub, we had KTB, kataba. But when you put that U in front of it, uktub, it was a command to write, uktub. So the letter I on the front of it So you boom, you see that word and you like, yo, let me throw a little I in front of that JLS and you can experiment, right? Now you say edgeless. Oh, that's a command to sit down. And then you look that up and you mess around and be right, and you are. So even if you didn't know what the somebody's name was Jalisa, Jalesa. And let's say it doesn't have a Y in there, it's just a Jalisa. And I mean that you boiled it down, it came into J um LS. So you're like, oh, JLS. I don't know what that word is. You thinking it's an English lady's name, Jaleesa. So then when you look back, you ain't even really got to go into the ancient dictionaries first or the ancient history of it. Come to find out, you could break it down linguistically. Oh, JLS. And then say, I don't know what that means. You think you don't know. But then you realize, oh no, the word for sit down is jalasa, and that's JLS. And no, oh, I put an I in front of it. Idless. I'm commanding somebody. Instead of JLS means he sat down in the past tense as a male, but I in front of it is a command telling them to do it now in the present tense. Idless. But then you put a MA in front of it, the place of, is majlis. Majlis is a what? Sitting hall, a place where you sit. So you would you know, be able to identify that it has something to do with sitting. But let's get back to Raheem. You know what I mean? With Raheem, you don't have a prefix here, let's say. That's and there's no suffix to erase, so we just erasing the vowels. And that's the A and the I. So you're left with RHM, right? So that means he was merciful. He mercied, you know. So then of course, how would we write that in the Arabic? You write the R like that hook, R, Ray, then the Him, the H, the hard H, you only see the top of it when it's in the middle of a word. So you see the top of it and then down to the M, Rahim. But if it's Rahim, you put the Y in there, if that's the way it's pronounced. You see what I'm saying? So you put that array, the letter R, then you put the hard H, then you put the Y in there, then the M. But put the two dots underneath the Y, and that's it. Remember, when you're writing that H by itself, that ha is really the full thing is like a big old portion that comes below the line, really. But it's not at the end of a word, so you won't really see that. You only it's the middle of the word. That H is just in the middle, Raheem. So when you write that Ray, you only put the top part of the H in there, boom, and you put the top part of the Y in there, or that yeah. That yeah by itself looks all fancy like that, but you're not gonna put the top of that. You're gonna put just that part, boom, and then go down into the meme, Rahim, right? So when you pick your pen up from R, you have to do that. But if it's not like that, you should be able to write it with one stroke. So that's Rahim, merciful, right? Rahmatullahu. When they say, Assalamu alaikum, and then somebody says back, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rahmatullahi, in the mercies of Allah upon thee, right? Wa barakatuhu, and the blessings as well. You cover your finger. So rahmatullahi, right? So that's that rahmatullahi when they say that in the greeting back. You mean I remember Busta Rhymes said that. You know what I mean? In one of my joints, they thought it was ignorant to say, but I don't care. I like that joint. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Oh, we making more rich money. Oh, remember that? You know what I'm saying? So that was my joint. And he says that in the joint. He said, I mean, you know what I mean? Alhamdulillah. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, they say that, Joe. But then, you know what I mean? They saying like it when dark skin, when the real Moors come out, but then let French man Tana do their songs. They ain't gonna say he haram. Yeah, I mean, he finally caught on to the Philly style. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, Mook Manoon. Because you see French Montana, he got that John. What is not? It's not called Inshallah. What's it called? Oh, I was like, he's hanging with me Mills or something. I can tell. Wallahi. French Montana, you know what I mean? From the Kingdom of Morocco. You know what I'm saying? So you got these guys. So, that's what it is. But they say, oh, maybe a little J Electronica. You know what I mean? Don't he say that in one of his Jones? When he talk about I was on Broad Street Tasker. And then he say something like that. You know what I mean? By the cocktail. He throw that Joan in there too. But you gonna learn how to spell it today. Inshallah. All right, so you know what I mean? So Rahmatullahi. So Ra, R, then the H, Ra, then the M, Ma, then the Tullahi, right? Is that conjunction word, you see? To lillahi, Allahi. See? So it's like that's a conjunction word. So in the English it would be rock, Rahmatullahi, Rahmatullahi, right? But even like that, you'd be like, that lillahi is extra bonus points. That's got to be a suffix. You would take that whole part off. Then you would say, maybe I don't know if it is a prefix, or maybe it's not. So then really you're getting rid of the vowels. And you would see that RHM right in there. You say, oh, snap, they got something to do with mercy, Rahman or Rahim, beneficence or mercifulness. Right? Boom, you would go there automatically, even didn't know. You'd be able to boil it down. So that's what we're dealing with. Um, you know, we try and see if anybody out there, but we'll give y'all a second. I mean, what's good? Y'all got any names y'all dealing with? Because Rahim was a good one. And we've been dealing with um root words. We went with Hamida, HMD, right? He praised. We put prefixes like mu in front of it, Muhammada, Muhammad, and then that meant the praiser. But because it has two M's in the middle of Muhammad, we meant that it's the praise giver, the active participant, right? And then in the HMD, you put an A on it, is Ahmed. Then you could put O's in there, it's Mahmoud. So it's always something, you can add on to these prefixes, I mean these root words, so test it out. And we went to suburb, hard S, letter B and R, the sod, the bay, and the ray. And we said then you could take that suburb means he was at patience. He was patience. He was patient. Then we could put Sabir, the patient one, Sabri, Sabria, Sabor, all from SBR, Sabra, right? So that is what is the easiest way and the funnest way to build up your understanding of the language. And really, you have to learn when you're learning a language how to uh, read the language, write it, understand it when somebody's speaking, and speak it. It's like four big categories there, and each person is maybe skilled at one or another. Some people can listen to their parents talk Spanish all day in the house, but they don't really know Spanish like that. You know what I mean? So it's those four categories of each language that you got to really master. You see what I'm saying? And learning how to speak it is a talent and takes certain skill sets that you will be teaching. Learning how to write it is another aspect and coordination. Learn how to read it, because you might not learn how to write it, but you can read it all day. But then learning how to hear it, because when they start going blah, 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 in the Spanish or Arabic, trust me, Learning how to hear it is still a whole nother dimensional vibrational understanding. And Arabic being a category four language is great for the brain, open up so much stuff and allows you to, move forward with so many areas of your life. We're dealing with names. We did Raheem, and give us another name real quick and put it in the chat. I'll go with another name. Let me see. Uh, name like, let's see, Michael. Let's go with a name like Michael, where you're like, well, this is not an Arabic name, right? But you need to get to the source of it. So we show you how it works even with a name like that, right? So let's look at it, right? Now you could do the Arabic name or you could do the English name, but it's still going to get to the same system you're going to use. So Michael, 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 right? So when you're trying to figure out if this is an Arabic word or and get to the root of it, and if it was, you still would just shoot right to it. You got to identify, is there any prefixes in this word that you can think of? Are there any suffixes? If there's a prefix, you erase that. If there's a suffix, you erase that. And then you erase the vowels in whatever letters you're left with. See? But these are compound words. This is like a complex word, right? Michael, the MI looks like a prefix, right? Because that MI is substituting for the MU actually. And that MU is what? One who. One who. The Ka means like, similar to. And L is short for what? Elohim or Allahum. Allahumma. Elohim or Allahumma, right? Allahumma. Elohim, right? So that's that. So Michael, one who is like L. Let's write it in the Arabic script. Ma ka il. M-A or M-I-K il. The ayin is there, the lam is there. That's the M. This is the A or the I here, depending on what slash you put. Put the I, put the slash there underneath. That's a kasra. This is a feta. But this is the K in the middle of the word. It almost looks like a K if you did that in English. But that's that K, the calf. Now, so that's the K, A, with the slash on it. And then EL, the EL, Mikael. All right. You did Gabriel yesterday. We did Jibrail yesterday. If you just tuned in, it's the Moorish Science University, MSU, our religious academy. We have we go from first grade to doctorate degree. We deal with our language arts class, Luga Lodge. This is our study group that we've done since 2007 to teach people how to deal with the reading, writing, understanding, comprehension, speaking of Arabic and other languages, our native Moorish languages. And so we show you how to, even with the English Latinized letters, that they're still get boiled down to their Hebrew and Arabic roots, and how you can take the Arabic words and names that you have, and also any other names, and that will be a great entry point and a fun opportunity for you to learn the language and just give us some feedback. I mean, if anybody out there has a name we could do next, I just shot with Michael. So we've done quite a bit. This is our fourth episode, portion 2.5. We went from 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5. So we will deal with another name. I got another name in mind. Let me think. These are okay. Now let's see. Got my copper cup right there. You know what I mean? That's how we do it, Morris. You know what it is. Up here in the Labinsky. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So uh we're gonna go with another name. And another name, Alim. Let's if you now Aleem. You can spell it with the I if you want to, but it's not going to matter because the I and the E are both vowels, right? So if you didn't know what Alim meant and you ran across this word, you would look, is there any prefixes to erase? Well, no. If there's any suffix to erase, no. Really, you could be fooled to think that AL is a prefix. So that's an error, but that would be a good guess because you would think the AL equals the because it's Alaim. But in this case, the A here is not really a true A. It represents the letter Ein. It's not an Aleph like that, which is the letter A here. Like in Allah, see Aleph, Lam, Lam, Ha, ALLH. It's not the Aleph, the A there. They put an A here only to substitute the Ein. They don't have a symbol for it. But the Ein looks like this. And the Ein looks like this in the middle of a word. You just see that top part, but folded up. So the Alam here, the Alim is really like this. It's an Ein, it's not an Aleph. You would make a mistake thinking that the Alim would be spelled like this in Arabic. A, then L, right? Then to the Y and to the M. Put the two dots on the Y. So that's the A. Then that's the L. That's the Y in the middle makes those two E's. And then the M at the end, that circle coming down. So Alim. But you would be wrong because it's really not spelled with the Aleph. Really, in the Arabic name Alim is spelled with an Ain, Alim. And that will really be spelled. You don't see the whole letter now. This is a big letter, and this mainly comes below the line, this bottom part. But you only see that top hoop at the beginning of the Arabic word alim. So you see the top hoop, the ain, ah, then leem, L, Y, M. Put the dots on that, yeah, and that's it. So by itself, the letters would look like this: Ein, lamb, like a big old J or a hook that it comes below the line. Yeah would look all fancy and come below the line. Meme, it kind of look the way it does right there. So most of all the letters look the way that they do independently when they're at the end of a word. So when they're in the final letter of the word, then they'll take on their independent form. So that's why the meme here, the letter M, it looks like the meme by itself as well because it's at the end of the word, right? So that Ein Lam Ya Meme. So you would be mistaken that this is not an AL for al like the. So there's really an Ein. So there's no prefix, there's no suffix, and then you just take out the vowels. In this case, the A is not a vowel because it's representing an Ein. So the root would be that Ein Lam Meme. Now this is a super root, as we would say, because what? Whenever you get a root, certain roots, you can make so many words and you use them so many different ways that is very useful as a word, and it gives you clues on how to read other words and learn other words. So let's continue with Alim and us figuring out the meaning and writing Alim. So with Alim, you ALM. When you get it down to its root word, it usually means what? Is it present tense or past tense? Past tense, male. So Alim means he let's say he learned. Let's just say it like that. He learned. He already did it. He learned. He already did it. So the ALM is Ein Lam Meme. Ein Lam Meme, right? And it means he learned. He already did it. So now what kind of prefix can we put on there? Give me one of the prefixes, the two-letter words that go on the front. Which prefixes we've been dealing with? We've been dealing primarily with ma and mu, right? Ma, ma, a lot of times on the front of the Arabic word means the place of. Right? We had KTB, and then we put MA on the front of it. It meant maktab, means a desk or office, which is a place of kitab, place of books or writing. Then we had a maktaba with the MA on the front, and maktaba as a library, another place for. So this is, let's put mu on there though, right? We got alam, right? And we got uh we say ALM, he learned, right? We could say really he knowledged. Let's just say it better like that. He learned or he knowledged. That's what ALM is. So when you put the MU in front of it, there's a prefix, then you got MU ein, but ein is spelled as an A here in this case. MUALIM. So you got the alam, but the mu alam. Mu alam is a teacher. Because they're the ones who give the knowledge, the mu'alam, the knowledger. Because remember, when you have the mu on the front of a word, it most often reflects in English as a suffix er. So we had dear, the letters D and R, dal and re. So in English, it's spelled D-E-E, like D-E-R, like two E's, D-E-E-R, or dir. So dear, dear means to steer or to manage. When you put the mu on the front of it, mu dear, it just makes an er at the end, manager. So the mu on the front becomes er of the word in English. Dear, steer or manage. Mu dear, manager. You see what I'm saying? Alam, knowledge. Mu alam, knowledger or teacher. Right? But then you say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. 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 That mean, the eem is at the end is a suffix, plural type of thing. Then you take out the A, you left with ALM again, that knowledge. So Alameen means the universe. Because it's basically saying all the knowledge in existence. Right? So, Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of God, beneficent, the merciful. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Pray, all praise due to God, Lord of all the worlds. That's what they say. Lord of all the worlds, Rabbil Alameen. But it's really like not like world of all the worlds, like Rabbil Ala Dunya, like a world like that. The Dunya, which is the world of the Matrix or whatever, is Rabbil Alameen, meaning Lord of all the worlds of information, all the thoughts and concepts that could ever possibly exist. Lord of all that, Rabbil Alameen. So that's the name Alim. right? You have it here. Ein, lam, yeah, meme, alim. But you can make mu'alim from that ALM, ALM. You can make that mu'alim. What else kind of words? Alameen. Oh, here you go. You got the ALM, right? You could put two O's in there. Alum. That means science. Ain't that deep? Because don't they say even in English dictionary that when you look up the word science, it spells is gnosis, it means knowledge. So they get that's it's in line in Arabic because alum is science. El alum, science. Alum. So ALM is knowledge, the root word of science. So it makes sense in English and Arabic. You'll see how they relate. See? So that's another ALM word, alum. So when you know those three-letter words, you can easily remember these subsidiaries or their offshoot words or different words because that's what we're dealing with. The spell that breaks the spelling. Because they did it to us. They casted spells over a broad area. They called it broadcasting. And they made it that they based it in Hollywood. But if you're a warlock or a so-called witch with the lower sciences, lower crafty energies and stuff, but that's what they deal with. They like it can't be a real magic wand in their world unless it's made from Hollywood anyway. It's not considered a real wand. It has to be made from Hollywood tree, Hollywood. So they want to broadcast, but we could broadcast too. We deal with Tahuti, right? We have all unlimited, broadcasting capabilities that ain't, you know what I'm saying? So this is how it's done. Dealing with the phonetics, the the tones and phones, phonetics, spells. So I'm making sure we break down those spellings so you can see and detect. Nobody will be able to lie to you whatever words mean anymore in religious worlds. You'll say, that's not what that word means. You know what I'm saying? They told uh they told the mother Mary, Mariama, Salatu Salam, they said that the angel Jibreel came to her and said, call that man call him Emmanuel. And they said something like, first of all, they ain't telling him to call him Jesus. That's another point. That's his title, justice. But his name in the scripture is saying call his real personal name Emmanuel. So let's do that name. Because Emmanuel. So they say the man God is with us or something to this effect. Then they when you talk to the church people, they always saying that kind of stuff. But you would know what's up with it because you would say, wow, Emmanuel, let me look. Even with an Emmanuel. Is there any prefix to this word that we need to arrest? We don't really think so. Suffix, we know the L is the suffix because it's short for Elohim, and that's where it's connecting to the future word. So we know L is the suffix. So it was no prefix to erase. We erased the L part, and then we erased the vowels. In this case, it would be the I, A, and then this boom. So now when you get down, whether it was an E, and I'm sure you have seen it, Emmanuel spelled with an I sometimes. You know what I mean? But let's spell it with an I. You may have to do those things to break it up to get to the bottom of it. So when you spell it like this, E-man, then you realize E-U-L, that, oh, Iman in almost every language, a girl named Imani or an Iman is faith. The faith of El, the faith of God. That's what it seems like Yeshua, that Emmanuel was, Christ was bringing, right? The faith of God. They say that God is with us, but I don't see that linguistically. Emmanuel. Then it got an I or an E, so it looks like it's a command word where it's commanding faith. It got two M's, so it's an active participant, the faith bringer. It seems like because Jesus was bringing the faith. I mean, so The commanding faith bringer of El. The command to faith to the faith of El. So Emmanuel is a command to come to the faith of El. Iman. Iman. When you put an I on front of it, it's ijlis. Like when he told Prophet Muhammad to read, he said, Ikra, recite or read. The I is in front of that. The QRA is there, Ikra. But that QRA means read, like Quran. But when you put an I, you're telling them to read. So the angel said, Ikra. You tell somebody to sit ijlis. You saying? So when you Iman, you're telling them, but the M, the faith bringer, the commanding faith of El. Wow, that's a deep name. So you'll be able to look in the scripture with this process. And this is the process that I learned over time because I'm a military intelligence soldier, United States Army. This is the military grade language strategies and techniques that come from the top grade language school in the country, Wallahi, the Defense Language Institute Foreign Language Center in Presidio, Monterey, California. Everybody from the FBI, Homeland Security, everybody got to go there to learn. This is the real way to learn your Arabic, G Money. You can't top nothing this. You got to go ahead and get on board. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead and praise Allah and to turn up for Christ. And this is what it is. This is the best linguistics you're going to get. MashaAllah. So we're going English to Arabic to English to French to Spanish to Latin, and it's all busting it up and numerically correct, inshallah. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's the Lugalage. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so intense this way. So that's Emmanuel. I'm hyped because I have some other letter I words I really want to get to today, but I don't know. I don't really know. Like I gotta hold on. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. So, you know, should I just go there and drop it on them? The other I words? I will. Because, y'all haven't been told nothing so gosh dang long. This is like ridiculous, man. So I'm gonna take this off of this one, man. So praise Allah. Look, they when they have Islam, right? Let's go here. What I want y'all to think about it. What is let's write Islam. Let's write it down. You heard it here first. Just don't say you didn't later. ISLAM. Islam. Is there any prefix? Well, really, the I is the prefix. But let's say you didn't know that and you just thought it was a vowel, then you would leave it there. Okay, no prefix. Is there any suffix, any ya, ins, uns, or nothing like that? No. So then you erase the vowels. Okay, then you erase the I and the A. Of course, you got SLM. We went over that day one. That means he was at peace. He peaced. He already did it. So when you put mu on the front of it, it's mu salam Muslim. Then you can put the MO. It's still one of salam. You can put an E in there. It ain't different. MOMU means the one of, the one who, and salam is peace. So Musalam, the peacemakers, the ones who bring peace, right? But Islam, let's go there. It's a commanding word. So what does Islam mean then, brother? Would you say? I said the eyes on the front of it. In Islam, they tell you what does they say does it mean? What do they say it means? They say it means peace, right? But according to my definition, what does it mean with the I on the front? Huh? What is the I as a prefix? I told you. It's a command. Islam as a word is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanding man to be at peace. Did you know that? It's saying Islam, like Ikra, Ijlis, Uktub. When you say letter I or U, you're commanding the person to do the verb. Salam is peace and to be at peace. Musalam, one of peace. Masalam, mausoleum, place of peace. Salim, all kinds of names. But then Islam, the command for peace. You heard it here first. The Moorish Science University, MSU, Luga Lodge workshop, writing, reading comprehension, Arabic to English, uh, study group with your Professor Magi Chaplain L, giving thanks and praise to Almighty God Allah for His holy and divine prophets, the Noble Drew Ali, Salatu Salam, radiallahu an, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the prophets from A to Z, and giving blessed and sacrament on behalf of the Messiah, Christ. We are here. Islam, Islam, Islam. Praise Allah. We out.